Bret Cooper left the Daily Wire. Now, there was a lot of speculation on why she left and all of this stuff like that. And apparently, I didn't even know because, to be honest with you, without Bret Cooper, I don't know why I would be watching the comment section. But apparently, the comment section has been replaced, or Bret Cooper has been replaced. And nigga, look at this. They are not getting the same amount of views. They are not getting 45,000, 32,000, 43,000. Nigga, I remember like with Bret Cooper, the comment section was getting well over 200,000 views per video. Now you can go back and look at these old videos of Bret Cooper, 630,000 views, a half a minute. Now I get it, these are old, so they've had time to accumulate views, and you can see those with her, with the new chick, I forgot her name. I mean, this one has 250,000, that one has 250,000, right? This one has 500,000, right? However, over time, look at that. It's just a drop off. That one did 100,000, 60,000. That one did 100,000, but just a drop off. Now, maybe these views will go up over time, but there's been some scummy stuff that's been going on. So we got this video we're gonna react to. I tried to find this video by itself because this guy, I like his video, don't get me wrong, but he adds his commentary. I don't really particularly care about his commentary. So let me see if I can find it. True. Oh, doxing myself. Here it is. Here we go. Found it.
Completely ripped my cousin to shreds.
Okay. So apparently, old girl, this is the girl's cousin. I don't even know her name. Okay. This is her cousin. And apparently, old girl been getting ripped to shreds online because she's being accused of backstabbing Bret Cooper. So her cousin released a video trying to explain her cousin's side of the story. Of course, you know how we do. We're going to put this thing on 1.5 and keep it pushing. Let's see what we got.
Over the past week or so, I've watched the internet completely rip my cousin to shreds over something that is the
okay, maybe not 1.5, 1.25.
furthest thing from her fault, and I've watched the one person who should have been in her corner and could have changed the narrative sit back and stay completely silent. So I, for one, am not going to stay silent, and I'm about to tell you exactly what happened. I suggest that you listen to this video, and in fact, even share this around, because this needs to be spoken about, and Reagan's name needs to be cleared. I'm Riley Conrad, and my cousin is Reagan Conrad, who works for the Daily Wire and is the current host of the comments section on YouTube. The previous host was Bret Cooper. If you're unaware, the internet, especially Bret Cooper stans, have been up in arms over the fact that Bret Cooper recently decided to leave. There's been a lot of speculation over what happened, why did Bret leave. The speculation, unfortunately, turned into rumors, and then the rumors were taken and ran with, and then my cousin just began to get hated on. And it's actually crazy the things that people are saying, and I want to set the record straight, because unfortunately, while Reagan and Bret were best friends, Bret has just sat back and watched this happen to Reagan, and in fact, she removed all of her posts with Reagan on Instagram and eventually unfollowed her too, which obviously made the internet even more skeptical of Reagan. And it's just plain wrong, because Reagan has done absolutely nothing but support Bret her entire career at the Daily Wire so far. It's rubbing me the wrong way. I'm about to talk. Here's what really happened. Bret chooses to leave over reasons that legally I don't believe I am allowed to say, so I'm not going to touch on them. And honestly, that's Bret's story. But moral of the story, Bret decided to leave. 100% Bret's decision. And Bret said that herself, although people aren't believing that. I do understand the circumstances are a little weird, but Bret chose to leave. That is what you need to know. And the rest of the story I'm about to tell you. So here's where Reagan's part comes in. Reagan was the producer of the comments section. Like I said, they were best friends. So whenever Bret decides to leave, Bret...
That's a little bit confusing for me, because I always thought that Bret Cooper's producer, the person behind the camera and everything, was a male. So that's shocking to me.
Recommends to the Daily Wire that Reagan step in and be the substitute host for a period of time. So Reagan, with her friend's blessing, decides that she is going to do this, and she loved it. Reagan has always loved the Daily Wire. While Bret decided to step away, Reagan has always really enjoyed her time there, and I personally have witnessed how much Reagan loves to do research on Republican media. She loves all things Republican news. So this was perfect for her. I've watched her grow and flourish with the Daily Wire, and she has literally just stepped into each position full force, and she absolutely loved her time being able to be the substitute host. However, that being said, Reagan wanted them to continue searching for other hosts that could actually step in full-time. So she's the substitute host while they're doing this search, and they decided they didn't like any of the other host options. They wanted Reagan. So the Daily Wire reaches out and offers the position to Reagan. Now Reagan is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Bret has told Reagan that she wants Reagan to come with her, to leave the Daily Wire with her. And she told her that she could be her producer. However, that being said, it would be months before Bret knew of what she wanted Reagan to exactly be doing. It would be months until Reagan got paid by Bret. And also, Reagan would not be getting as much pay from Bret, that's for sure. The Daily Wire is able to pay her a great sum of money. Bret wouldn't be able to pay her quite as much. While Bret is doing quite well for herself, it wouldn't be able to be quite as much. So Reagan would be taking a significant pay cut. Now, my cousin is doing fantastic in life, but I don't know about you, most people cannot just take several months off of work and then also take a massive pay cut when they have expenses. So, all of that considered, along with the fact that Reagan loves what she's doing, she believes in the Daily Wire, and she really enjoys being in front of the camera. She loves it. You can watch, guys. Like, everybody's accusing her of having acting classes. I can tell you, that is how Reagan's always been. That's how she's always spoken. Yes, maybe they have some of the same mannerisms. They've been best friends. Who of you has a best friend and doesn't start kind of talking like them? You usually have the same lingo. So the acting classes rumor, it's just that. It's a rumor. Reagan has never had acting classes. She literally just does speak that way. That's how she is. Anyways, you can tell she loves it.
So far, the gist of what I'm getting is that old girl Reagan, okay, took the position as a temporary replacement for Bret Cooper, but it was supposed to be temporary, okay? Also, she was supposed to move on with Bret Cooper and be her producer, but she wouldn't know for months whether or not, Bret Cooper was when she was gonna start, and she was gonna have to take a massive pay cut. So that's the story so far.
She loves being in front of the camera. So she decides, even though she's between a rock and a hard place and does not want to offend Bret, she decides to take the position because she's meant for it, guys. I don't know how to explain to you. I've watched Reagan grow over the course of her time there, and she used to be so afraid to speak up about her views. She actually came to me at one point when I was starting to do social media, and I was always talking about being a Republican and talking about my views. She came to me and said, Rye, how do you do that? Like, how do you unashamedly talk about your views and not worry about offending people? And I was just like, you can't worry about it. Like, you gotta be true to yourself. She grew from that over the course of the Daily Wire, being able to completely speak up about her feelings, speak up about what she knows, and be such a solid voice for Republicans, especially young female Republicans. She is a huge voice and makes a massive impact. Even as producer, she was doing that behind the scenes. She was doing that on her Instagram stories. So those of you accusing her of just stealing this role, she's meant for it. You just haven't given her a chance. So Thanksgiving comes around, and Reagan is dealing with this, do I take it, do I not? She wanted to take it so badly, but you should have seen us in the basement of my grandparents' house, her being an emotional wreck, not wanting to upset Bret. That was her only concern. And I said, take away Bret's feelings, what would you do? And she said, I would take it. I would love to take it. But if you include Bret's feelings, she didn't want to hurt her friend. But that being said, her friend decided to step away. It's different if Reagan shoved her out. It's different if the Daily Wire forced her away. But she didn't. Bret chose to leave, and there was this open position that was then presented to Reagan as, do you want this? After multiple weeks of searching for somebody else. So Reagan takes the position, and I said to Reagan, if Bret is a true friend, she will still be in your corner. If she is not, then she was never a true friend to begin with.
That's some bullshit. That's some female ooga badooga fantasy shit. The fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. You crossed me and I decided to cut you off. That doesn't mean that I was never your friend. You crossed me.
I can understand Bret being hurt. I can understand Bret wanting Reagan to follow in a way, but Reagan is her own person, and she is meant for this role. You can't force people to do what you want them to do, and then if they don't do it, stop being their friend. So I was hoping in good faith from what I had seen of Bret that Bret would make the right decision and still support Reagan. Well, here's what happened. So obviously Bret puts out that video about stepping away from the Daily Wire and Reagan's gonna be a great host, blah, blah, blah. That's all she said. Fair enough. Well, then Bret decides to remove all of the posts on her social media with Reagan. And I was like, that's low. But okay, maybe she's just trying to support Reagan. Maybe she's trying to not let her be in the limelight and not let people find her social media so that she doesn't get hated on. I don't know. Well, then Bret completely unfollows Reagan off of Instagram. Messed up if you ask me, because Reagan always was supporting Bret. Reagan loved Bret, still loves Bret too.
Don't we live in a matrix now where me following you on Instagram is a sign that I'm your friend, and if I unfollow you, it means I'm no longer your friend? Like, guys, we live in a fucking matrix, a fucking simulation.
To be honest with you, the way that she still is so forgiving of this girl is really incredible, because I would have said screw you after all of the things that Bret has now done. But she's still so loving towards Bret, and in fact has several times on YouTube already in Reagan's first few episodes very vocally supported Bret. She always supported Bret whenever she did the show, and she was so vocal about the fact that Bret was talented and Bret was a genius and blah blah blah. So I was very much hoping that whenever the tables turned and Reagan stepped into the position that Bret would do the same. Well, instead, since Reagan did not come along with Bret and leave the Daily Wire for Bret, Bret has completely turned on her and allowed the hate to happen, even though Reagan was offered the position fairly and Bret chose to step away. She's allowed the hate to spew and has not come forward and tried to clear Reagan's name, even slightly. So, sure, do I think the Daily Wire could have handled this differently and started a new show? Sure. But the show was never owned by Bret. It was never Bret's show. It's the Daily Wire's show, hosted by Bret. There was actually a host before Bret, although a lot of people don't know that. So, while do I think the Daily Wire could have done things differently and given a little more room for, I don't know, grieving of Bret leaving? Sure. But the moral of the story is that Reagan's not at fault even slightly, and the internet is disgusting towards Reagan right now, and it's also disgusting how Bret has handled this, because she's just fostered hate towards Reagan, and Reagan has said, nothing but support for Bret. So please go subscribe to the comments section on YouTube, and please show your support for Reagan in the comments, because this girl needs love done. It is horrible to see the hate that's come towards her, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore. Over the past...
All right, so there you have it. It was a long, lengthy 10-minute video of her explaining, and we had to let all of that play out because, I mean, it's a lot of drama. Now, I wasn't aware of this because, again, once Bret Cooper said that she was no longer going to be at the Daily Wire and she wasn't doing the comment section anymore, I checked out. I checked out. I'm like, uh-oh. I completely checked out. I was like, oh, well, there's no reason for me to be watching this anymore, right? Am I right? So, you know, you can see the comments. This is from actually Pearl's comment section. So did Reagan yap all this to this cousin? Because that's probably alarming to the Daily Wire as well. Looks like she's taking full advantage of the NDA restrictions Cooper is probably stuck with to put a spin on all of this. That's more favorable to her cousin. Not very credible in my honest opinion. Summary: she's not at liberty to tell you why Bret left the DW. Bret offered Reagan a position in her new venture. Reagan turned it down because the Daily Wire paid more. Daily Wire offered Reagan Bret's former position. She took it. This pissed Bret off, so she unfollowed her on IGN. I said IGN, my bad. Instagram. Okay, so there's that. All right. Now we gotta find what actually happened. At least according to somebody close to the situation, because this is messy. This is messy. Oh Lord, I'm running out of time. Where is it? Where is post? Okay, here it is. Oh no, they deleted it. That's fine because the internet is forever. It's forever. You cannot get rid of it. Reddit. Can't get rid of it. Apparently they got rid of it, but that's fine because I know somebody who has it.
The public has no idea how.
All right, here we go. Now, again, we're gonna skip this nigga's commentary. No disrespect to him. It's just we don't want. So you can go and watch this guy's video. You can go and watch this guy's video if you want to, but he has the entire thing on his video. All right. Cryptic Beat says it's still on Reddit somewhere. Well, that's fine. We'll just use this guy's video. This person says, I know what actually happened between Bret and Reagan. Okay, I'm going to enlarge that. Pause. All right. Posting here just as I posted a long comment in a different thread. If a mod would like to reach out to confirm I know what I am talking about, I will provide evidence. I know Bret, I know Reagan, and I know all of the players at the Daily Wire. The public has no idea how much of a dumpster fire that company is, and that's largely due to their insane contracts, which put the fear of God, King, in everyone. Bret did not leave because of Ben Shapiro. She was also not fired over anything to do with Israel, and her leaving had nothing to do with Candace Owens. Reading all of these rumors is frustrating. It is true that Bret wanted to leave for very good reasons. It was not about money, but management. Her best friend Reagan encouraged her to leave and supported her, and as her cousin accurately states, was so supportive and encouraging that she fully planned to leave with her. Now that changes the entire dynamic of the conversation, because if you're at the Daily Wire, think about it, put yourself in this position. You're at the Daily Wire with this really popular show called The Comment Section that has 4 million subscribers. You're doing 500,000 views on every video, but you're having some problems with management. Your best friend and her cousin are encouraging you to leave. Girl, you don't need this. You deserve better. You're better than them. You can do well without them. And so you muster up the confidence to say, fuck this, I'm out. And then all of a sudden she ends up as the permanent host of that same show that she encouraged you to leave. Ooh, that's nasty work. But maybe there's a better explanation. That's about all her cousin gets right. Yes, Bret offered to pay her what she could reasonably afford, but it is such a lie to imply Bret did not want to pay her for months. The truth is that Daily Wire has insane non-competes for every single employee there. Take your time to read through Glassdoor reviews for the company stretching back years. Management is monstrous. Long story short, Bret and Reagan were going to start her new show when it was legally allowed. Reagan was Bret's hype woman in all of this planning. All right. Jeremy has a God complex, and I am so tempted to publish the email he sent around to the company regarding Bret, which proves that he believes he creates talent and makes them famous, and he can do this with anyone. He also believes if talent tries to leave or disobey, he can just as easily destroy them. One day, Reagan comes to all of us bursting with tears, claiming that Jeremy brought her into the office and told her he wanted her to fill in for Bret. She painted this as though Jeremy was doing this purely to torture Bret, which was believable. Okay, Reagan was Bret's best friend. Never in a million years did we think she was lying. She claimed she did not want to do it, but that he threatened to fire her. We all felt terribly for her. In retrospect, what she said makes no sense, but why on earth would we think she was a total sociopath and lying to us? She told him that she would only do it for 2 weeks. Again, this is really dumb to reflect on, because why would she be telling him what she would or wouldn't do? But we believed her. 2 weeks passed, and then she does a complete 180. She says she actually loves being in front of the camera and that God wants her to take the opportunity, and that Jeremy offered her a contract worth a lot of money and promised he could make her famous. Bret was horrifically backstabbed. That is the truth. It is even more awful when you know the reasons why Bret wanted to leave, and you realize that Reagan knew those reasons and didn't care because she wanted to be famous. This is the truth. I don't really care if you guys don't believe me, because I needed to get it off my chest. Edit. Just warning everyone that there is an account here that is trying to debunk and claim I'm lying. Just examine the post history of that account, and that is a friend of Jeremy Boring who is issuing legal threats to people for speaking about this topic. Wow. Now, obviously, there's a huge caveat here. We don't know who this person is. We don't know if they're telling the truth. We don't know. But this person seems fairly confident. And we also saw a comment in that thread where the mod said, we're going to need proof. And apparently they dropped the proof and it got deleted. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that Jeremy Boring is threatening to sue people. But hey, so many moving parts here. Reagan is sounding like a real backstabber, right? But I don't know. Is it true that Bret made a video saying you guys are going to love Reagan? Because how could you feel backstabbed if you you pretty much passed the baton? If you passed the baton to Reagan, how you going to feel backstabbed? But also, we don't know the reasons why Bret left. See, that's the thing that this person doesn't mention. Why did Bret leave? Because this person says the fact that Reagan took that position, despite knowing what happened between Bret Cooper and the Daily Wire, makes it even more evil. I don't know. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I don't know. It's hard for me to make a call one way or another. Obviously, I'm familiar with Bret. I don't know this Reagan character, but I do know how far women will go to get that fame and fortune. I'm sorry. And my whole thing is, if what happened to Bret between Daily Wire was so bad, why wouldn't Reagan just leave? Because here's the thing. Yes, you'll be taking a pay cut, right? You'll be taking a pay cut going to work with Bret instead of the Daily Wire. Yes, but the relationships are better, because if you cross the Daily Wire, they gonna do the same to you. And you're not Bret Cooper. When Bret Cooper goes off and do her own thing, everybody's gonna know her. Everybody's gonna subscribe to whatever she got going on. They don't know you. I mean, look at Candace Owens. Candace Owens, the same thing. Candace Owens has 3.39 million subscribers. I heard that Prasan was saying he never thought Candace Owens was a fit. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. I don't know how you came. Look at the views on Candace Owens' channel. Bro, Candace Owens has 1.3 million, guys, million views on her video. Now, granted, it doesn't look like she's uploading all that much. If she's going live, oh, well, I mean, what is she doing? Like, I don't know. I guess she's going live more than she's uploading videos. So, I mean, hey, she's not going live that often. But so if Candace Owens can do this, what do you think Bret Cooper is going to do when she gets her own platform going? We'll see. We will see. I don't know. So this whole ordeal is just messy to me. It's really catty between two young women. One who is trying to do her best to get her own cut of the pie. This is why, hey, listen, this is why women don't stay friends for a very long time, because women will stab each other in the back for that money and for a man in a heart, okay? Can I get a griff? Cryptid Beat says coughs and looks at Joy Taylor, Jason Taylor's sister. What do you mean by it? Christopher Baker says the common denominator is the Daily Wire. There you go. I believe that about Chris Boring as well. Mike G.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.